we're going to take a look at tangent, secant, and cosecant and what those graphs look. Now remember that when you're on the unit circle, tangent is y over x. So if at each point on the unit circle you take the y coordinate divided by the x coordinate and you plot those points, you end up getting a graph that looks like this here. Tangent goes ahead and repeats in between these asymptotes. Asymptotes are vertical lines that your graph gets close to but never touches. So as your angle gets closer and closer to 90, the tangent, which is your y coordinate over your x coordinate, gets really, really big. And similarly over here, it gets really, really big but small. Or big but negative, sorry about that. It repeats the period in between these asymptotes from negative 90 to positive 90, which is a distance of 180 degrees. And then you'll notice 90 to 270 is another 180 degrees. As we look here, it crosses exactly halfway in between the asymptotes. To the right, it curves up. To the left, it curves down. You're going to need to make sure you know this basic shape of your tangent when you're graphing stuff. When you are looking at secant, secant's the reciprocal of cosine. In the red, we have the cosine graph. Reciprocal means you got to flip stuff upside down. So here our cosine is 1. You take the reciprocal of that, then you get 1. But over here, you're at about a height of a half on your cosine. You take the reciprocal of cosine and you get a height of 2. And you keep plotting all the reciprocals of your cosine, and you end up getting this U shape going up here. Now, as you take a look over here to the right, and I don't know, my asymptotes got off here, but we'll just adjust those. Evidently, I moved my graph and didn't realize it. Okay. But here we have an asymptote, just like we do on the tangent at 90 and negative 90. Because when you're looking at secant, that's 1 over x, and tangent is y over x. So whenever the bottom of x is 0, that's where you're going to have these vertical asymptotes. You do the reciprocals of negative numbers and you get this U shape. So your period here goes up negative 90 until 270. That's a total of distance, 90 to the left plus 270 here, of 360. So just like the sine and the cosine, it repeats every 360 degrees. In between the first two asymptotes, it's always a horseshoe up. In between the second two asymptotes, it's always a horseshoe down. Well, we're going to do a very similar approach when we're looking at cosecant. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So we're starting off with our y-axis here. We're looking at our basic sine graph right here. And then we're doing the reciprocal. So here your sine is at a height of 1. You do the reciprocal of 1 and you get 1. Here your height is at about a half. You do the reciprocal of a half and you get up to 2. So it repeats then every 360. So you take this shape right in here and you start to repeat it and you get everything else. Once again, in between the first two asymptotes, it's a horseshoe up. In between the second two asymptotes, it's a horseshoe down. And you're just going to have to go ahead and have this memorized, this basic shape. Make sure you're getting the asymptotes at the right spot. Make sure you're getting where the bottom of the U is and the top of the horseshoe is over here. Correct. And that is 1 on the secant and the cosecant.